Hey, what's up? It's Mykill Metal, and I'm playing some more Kerbal Space Program. This time I decided to start a brand new save in sandbox mode to create a shuttle program and kind of have some fun with it. This is the first shuttle I built. It's called the Enterprise, and I'm going to flip this around right here so you can see the cargo bay. And it's got the first part of the station in the back of it, and I'm going to be setting this up so I can separate and dock with it. And then put it in the correct position so I can send up some more parts. This shuttle that I built is actually a lot better than I thought it would be. I have a lot of trouble trying to get this thing back down to Kerbal Space Center because it is way more aerodynamically stable than I thought it would be, and it ends up overshooting the KSC by miles every single time I try to re-enter. So I gotta quick save and reload almost every time, a couple of times, until I figure out a pretty good descent path. There we go, got that detached. I'm gonna use the RCS to thrust away. And once it gets clear, I go to switch to I set that as the target, and then I go to switch to control from here to the docking port. But I forget that I am holding one of the radial nodes. I think that's radial. I can't remember which one that is. And it ends up smacking the hell out of the station. And it flings it off into space. But after like 5 or 10 minutes of screwing around with it, I actually got it back down. And I got it in for docking. It's at a weird, jacked up angle, but if it works, it ain't broken. You can hear the RCS has sounds now. I got that sound mod. And I got the docking sounds mod, which is awesome. I love that. It's also got airlock sounds and stuff like that too. I think that might be Chatterer. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm going to flip this around and get it set up. There we go. Just flip that north and south and try to get it stabilized. And then I'm going to send over Valentina. The EVA sounds are awesome. It's just like in real space. The only sounds you can hear are your own breaths. That's awesome. Sweet. And then I'm just gonna send, I think it was Bill? I can't remember who I sent. Nope. Bob. Yeah, I send Bob over there to join her. And they are going to be the first people Kerbals to stay up there. There's a nice IVA view from the cockpit. Get a screenshot of that. And a nice cinematic shot of the whole station docked with the shuttle flying by. That looks cool. And then I'm going to undock and get ready for re-entry. Burning the wrong way on that one. There we go. And like I said, it overshoots a bit, so I had to come back and land at the island. But as you can see, this doesn't really go to plan. And touchdown goes perfectly, and I'm slamming on the brakes, but almost nothing is happening. And I'm running out of runway, so I tried to turn and use that to brake a little bit even more, and I realized the nose wheel doesn't actually turn. And that didn't end well. But at least they're alive. So moving on to the next launch. Bill was a little bit late getting into the shuttle, so we catch him on catwalk. I don't even know what you would call that, really. And he hops in. Giving us the nice airlock sounds. Detach that and start up the main engines. And once I get the rock back, I can launch and ignite the SRBs. This isn't very stable on launch. I'm thinking about adding a couple of the reaction units to the external tank just to help me out on the launches a little bit. Because I'm using the 2 and the 3 keys to control the engines and like their angles going up, and I gotta change that constantly. That's our BSEP and the shuttle rolling over just a little bit onto its back, so we'll start burning laterally along the horizon. Got a nice IVA view during launch. That's pretty cool. I'm hoping at one point I'll be able to do an entirely IVA shuttle mission. Doubtful, but I'll hopefully be able to do that sooner or later. Separate from the external tank and use the RCS to thrust away. This is the second configuration of the RCS thrusters that I put on here, but I had to change it again because the front units did not want to work while the cargo bay was closed, which was a little odd. This is the docking adapter. This has the one arm on the bottom. It's going to have 2 more arms on the sides. And then 2 are going to be exactly as they are. And I'm going to use that for the regular rocket missions. You can see the station in the background as I'm getting closer. God, I love those sounds. Bring this in nice and close. Slow. Never gonna get used to that. That's so awesome. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to detach and use the RCS to thrust away from the station. Just get a nice and clean separation so I can actually thrust back and try to get away from the station so I'm out of render range. And then I'm going to start the procedure to begin re-entry. I don't like just burning into re-entry while I'm still next to the station. Bad stuff tends to happen that way. Go, just burning retrograde now. And once I come back in, once again I overshoot both of the runways, so I have to turn back and use the engines to stay high enough to glide back. A couple of times I had to use the infinite fuel quote-unquote cheat thing, whatever. But I didn't use it for this. This I just actually used most of my remaining fuel. There you go. And I was able to bring it back semi-safely, as you'll see. I have no explanation for this. I bet you're wondering, what is he talking about? You'll see in about 10 seconds. 5 seconds, maybe. This is the craziest thing that's ever happened to me on landing. I don't know where to begin with this. What? It just starts falling apart in midair and I have no control. And then... bam. But they're alive and ready to attach more things to the station, so check out the next video for missions 3 and 4, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Other one's behind a tree. Got one. He's down. He's down.